All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into another exciting, fun-filled Tango Tuesday. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Got a special guest here tonight, but just want to say happy Thanksgiving to all of you that I didn't get a chance to talk to last week. Had a lot of fun traveling, went up to Mississippi and got to see some friends and family. Had a really good time with mom and dad and got a chance to see the family. It was good. Thanks for all the love and prayers and support going back and forth on the highway. Had a lot of fun. And man, that 10-hour drive is no good in each direction, but it's worth it when you get to see family and do that. So here, right? So here, I'm Dave, Tango Delta 6. I'm with you here from Tampa, Florida, right here in my home office. I've got my Nobility set up in the background. I changed the library purple for you tonight, Kyle. And so it's 8 o'clock p.m. on November the 28th, 2023. And it's a big day because yesterday Rio was released by Nobility. And so we talked last week and Kyle said he wanted to come on the show and get a chance to chat with us just a little bit. So welcome back to the show, friend of the family, Nobility CEO Kyle McDougal. How you doing, brother?
I'm great, man. And yeah, I'm in Tampa as well. And Dave doesn't come out and see me enough. He doesn't invite me out to lunch anymore. Be closer. Okay, doing shots. Okay.
I sent Kyle a picture of
You nervous about talking to me?
No, I just wanted to make sure that you had your fireball shot ready. I did tell you to get one going.
Yeah, hey, I got an infant now. I don't have to in the house anymore. Maybe like a month ago, a couple months ago, but not anymore.
How's that coming along? How's the little superstar doing?
And he's doing a lot better. I think he's actually sick right now. I think it's from me. I've been sick for like 10 days. It's been horrible, so I apologize if I sound a little weak, but yeah, he's sick right now, so he's been a pain in the butt the past couple days, but he's getting better.
It's been going around. I tell you what, it's been a rough go. But
Yeah, we just had Quincy's family and my family over for Thanksgiving, and one of our nephews has croup, and he was over here, so I know it's highly contagious. So Quincy took the little guy to the pediatrician and checked him out just to make sure he didn't have that, but it's just like some kind of infection or something.
well, hopefully you don't catch it. When I was up visiting my family, it was there was quite the. My sister had she showed up for dinner and everything, and we ate, and then we had a little birthday cake because we're celebrating my birthday this week, and then yeah, thanks. But we had that going on, and then my sister called the next day when we were going to go out to eat, and she had like 100 and something fever, and I'm like, oh great, that means whenever you're close to somebody and they have a fever the next day, you always think, man, am I next, right? And then you're worried about the kid and stuff. So, just wait till.
I've been chugging vitamin C. We have like vitamin C packs that you pour in water. I've been chugging that for like 2 weeks. I've been taking NyQuil, DayQuil, I've been taking everything. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I've dealt with that before, man. It's no fun. But
yeah, but it hasn't stopped us from rolling. And like you said, we released Rio last night, so I'm pumped.
yeah, let's go. So I mean, I wanted to talk to you about that for sure, because obviously, for those of you that don't know, Tango Crypto is basically a Discord server that came about because a lot of us that met in the Discord server for Nobility right at the launch or right after the launch, a bunch of us came together, and we were just looking for a place to talk about projects that weren't Nobility, because you know how it is when you're in somebody's community, you don't want to talk about other tokens. So we just figured, hey, it's free to make a Discord, so let's go make that. And that's really where Tango Crypto came from. So for those of the people that are familiar with our community, they know we love Nobility. We're all Nobility holders, and we've promoted lots of other projects over time. Some did well, some didn't. Some remains to be seen what they'll do. But we established that early on, that for a cryptocurrency to be really effectively in the reflection space, you want to have that utility, and that's something that kind of promotes people to buy and sell and conduct the transaction so you can get the mechanic for the reflections to work. So I know Rio is like the first major utility, and it's like a streaming platform where gamers can get tips and make more money per dollar, I guess, than other platforms. So tell me a little bit about like the idea behind Rio, and I know it launched yesterday, so you've got a limited number of people using it. Kind of talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Rio, it's been a long time coming, man. Like I know you probably know you keep up with what we're doing over here, but it's been over a year now in development, and like a year and a half ago, it started off as an idea for. At the beginning, we had a bunch of different ideas that we wanted to get into. We first started Nobility. Like we wanted to do like a skins marketplace. We wanted to do our own streaming platform. We wanted to do all these different things. A gambling site for esports. Like all these different ideas were flying around all over the place. And one of the first things that I thought was a good idea to start with was like it's just a basic tipping platform that involved crypto and fiat because there's really no crypto and fiat solution out there for tipping. And tipping is huge on like Twitch and like any of the streaming platforms that you go on to. That's one of the ways that streamers and content creators are able to make money. And so I was like, hey, it'd be cool if we could do like a tipping system. They can embed it inside their bios and their social media and stuff like that. And then all the transactions that flow through it, whether it be fiat or crypto or whatever, it hits the Nobility charts. It creates a buy. Like you said, Nobility is it's a reflection token. So like we want as much volume as possible. Like when people sell, it doesn't really impact me or affect me at all because one buys and sells. And when the price goes down, people are going to want to buy. When the price goes up, people are going to want to sell. It's just feature of it. But we want as much volume as possible because that's what creates the passive rewards and all that stuff for our holders. And if people have a longer term mindset, I don't think it's an issue for those people either. We obviously want the price to be higher than lower. Everyone is going to cash out at some point, but we want to create that natural volume with our products that allows us to earn those reflections. So that was the whole idea behind that stuff, and that basic tipping platform kind of evolved into what Rio is now. Not even close to being where we want to be eventually, but right now it's kind of like an aggregator streaming platform. So right now the standard in the streaming world is in the day people used to go on Twitch, just stream at Twitch and call it a day. That was it. But now they're streaming on Twitch, Kick, Facebook, YouTube, all over the place, and we want people to easier for them to connect with their audience and then be more intimate with them because right now it's kind of hard to keep up with the guys like Ninja. He's streaming all over the place. It's hard to keep up with where he's at. You have to look at all these different links, his social medias and stuff like that. But if people can just go to one link, one account, just go to Ninja's Rio account, you can see wherever he's streaming at right on that page. You can see all his social medias. You can see everything on there. You can tip him directly from there. And that's going to evolve over time as well because we're going to integrate some e-commerce solutions and stuff like that is going to make the streamers and content creators more money, us more money. Everyone's going to be happy. So it's just kind of evolved into this more complex form, but it's been worth the wait. So.
And I know that you've already got several people that are utilizing the platform. I had it up earlier and logged into it and was looking around. I know you have like Big Duke Sim Racing. I think is one of the community members who is one of the original streamers, and he's got this really awesome setup with like multiple screens and it's a simulator that he sits in and drives the little race cars and stuff like that. So I know he's one of the original content creators that's on there. How did you come about meeting him, and how did he get involved with the community?
Yeah, so I've been involved with esports, like I guess it's almost 4 years now, which is pretty crazy. But right at the beginning of the pandemic is when I got into it. I saw the trajectory of where the whole space was going to go, and that's when I got involved with it. I bought the organization, and that's when I kind of like submerged myself inside the whole esports and gaming industry. And just over time, I've just created a bunch of content and stuff on LinkedIn and different social media about the organization. And he one day looked up, I guess, I don't know the exact phrase that he looked up in LinkedIn, something about esports related, and my name popped up. So he just clicked my name, connected with me, and sent me a message saying, hey man, I have this TikTok. I'm doing some sim racing on it and doing some streaming. I just started it up. Do you have any tips on how I can grow my audience? So started giving him some tips or whatever and started talking to him like every day on there. I said, hey man, you got to get Discord, get in the server, meet some of our community members at Nobility. I think we can definitely help you grow and support you any way we can. And then told him about Rio and what that's be, and that he wanted to be involved with it. And he's actually in Florida as well, so I think he's like a couple hours away, but every once in a while he's over here in Tampa, so I've met up with him for lunch, and he's a character, man. He's a character. There's no one like him, but he's an awesome guy.
Yeah, I've seen the socks. There's like comments on he wears different pairs of socks because you can see the pedals. You can see like when he's in the racer, you can see the pedals in his simulator, so you can
Yeah,
like see what socks he's wearing. It's like
yeah,
a spoof or whatever that he puts on. It's pretty
yeah.
funny.
So one of the tournaments that we want to do with Rio, it's going to be one of the first ones. And we're actually planning a tournament right now with an esports organization. But besides that, we want to do one with Duke, and I was like, hey man, we can name it after you. It could be like a tournament series. It could be like the Big Duke tournament series or something like that for sim racing. And he has a bunch of different sim racing friends that are also streamers on TikTok, and we're gonna do it. So, and then I'm gonna pay him $50 a month or something to boost his live streams and just like that, so he can build his audience and his following and
There you
stuff
go.
like that too. So they were going to be doing a Mario Kart or a sim racing tournament with beer goggles. So I'm going to send out like beer goggles to everyone. They're going to wear them, so it's like they're drunk and they're going to do like a race with them on. So it's going to be kind of cool.
Oh, that'll be fun. I like that
Yeah,
simulator setup that he's got. I don't have I've played racing games before, and I've been a gamer for a long time. Not professionally, not at all. But
yeah,
yeah, it's actually somebody texted me while on Thanksgiving break. I brought my Xbox Series X with me because my mom has a big screen TV in her living room, but it's not smart. So like I hooked the Xbox up so I can do the streaming and all that stuff. And my 16-year-old nephew was there, and he was playing Fortnite on my account using my gamer tag. So I apologize if any of you got your butts kicked over Thanksgiving by Tango Delta 6 on Fortnite, but I promise you it wasn't me. It was my little 1% nephew who's like a killer. Like I watched him do like 7 back-to-back Royale, took the crown, last man standing. Just I'm like he's going in and flipping in and like changing controller settings faster than I can even see what he's doing.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he doesn't even stream too. I mean, imagine, that kind of leads me to my next question. I know Rio is in the idea of aggregating a lot of things together into one place as well as becoming convenient convenient place to find and locate the streamers. So really, it's going to serve both sides of the community, the creators and the consumers. But how do you think it will impact as it grows? I know you have a long-term plan for like scaling up through thousands and then tens of thousands and hopefully millions of users on the platform. So how do you see it like playing out down the road? This is kind of a two-sided question. Do you think it will attract people to become streamers that are already gamers? And do you think also it could evolve into like its own social media platform where people that aren't gaming are doing streaming on Rio because of the profitability of the tipping?
yeah. The second question is definitely something we've talked about eventually, and then eventually one day we want to have our own streaming platform and do that. But to answer the first question, I think that's the biggest thing in this whole gaming world is gamers, they want to start streaming, but they're just scared to get in front of the camera and do it, and they're scared to because like it's very hard to grow an audience when you're streaming, especially on Twitch, where there's so much activity on it. There's so many different streamers and stuff on there. It's hard to be recognized and be discovered. Excuse me, I'm struggling over here. My throat's killing me.
Keep
But
it together, Kyle.
and so for a long time, it doesn't matter how good you are, how sociable you are. It doesn't matter. You're going to be talking to yourself pretty much. Like no one's going to be in your streams, and so I think people are kind of scared to feel rejected a little bit, even though they shouldn't, because it's hard to get started. And so we kind of want to provide this platform where it might make it a little bit easier for those people to get started and give them a platform that could get them discovered quicker than these other platforms can. So hopefully that gets more gamers to start streaming. But streaming has become pretty popular ever since COVID, so it's already a growing industry as it is.
It exploded, especially with people being stuck at home with nothing to do. There's two things that went up. It's the number of people streaming and the number of babies being born. So obviously you know
Yeah,
what I'm talking about, Kyle. But
Yeah, yeah, and people aren't just streaming video games. Like they're streaming everything, man. There's content creators that are streaming every second of their daily lives, just living their lives. They're painting, they're drawing, they're doing pottery. They have sleep streams now. Like they just stream themselves sleeping, and like girls are making so much money. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. I don't understand it, but there's like a whole market for it. I guess there's people out there watching everything.
It's evolving into all kind of things. Like there's AI out there now that it's not even real people, but it's they've got their own streams, but it's an AI bot doing all kind of stuff. I mean, it's amazing what's really out there technologically. Insane.
And we were talking in our main chat in our server last night, and do you know Darren in our
Yep.
community?
Mm-hmm.
He's an avid pilot, and he loves watching like runway streams. Like it's a live stream of like LAX.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand the joy of watching that, but there's the people that do, and it's insane. So it's things that you never think that people would watch that would. And there's someone else in our community that was thinking about doing like their deer hunting camera streams. I
Yeah.
think that'd be kind of cool too. I think there's definitely a group of people that would definitely watch that.
There's a group of people for everything. I mean, there's a deer hunting game that
Yeah.
whoever. I mean, when growing up, it was either Wolfenstein 3D or Duke Nukem, or you know what I'm saying. You were playing like Doom and all these different shooters and stuff like that that I played. Kind of walking into starting out in the gaming community, and whoever thought that there would be a deer hunting game or a fishing game, right? A fishing. Now you two need to stop. I see you in the chat over there. You two need to quit that. Nobody's paying to watch me sleep. Not happening. But but it's who knew that there would be games like that, and it's true. People will watch just about anything. I flew with my dad growing up, so I used to like log on and just listen to like Tampa Approach, because you can hear them talking to the planes. And growing up and wearing the headset and flying with my dad, like I learned that language, talking back and forth to the towers and the air traffic controllers. And it's kind of like it's actually part of where Tango Delta 6 comes from is, pilots use the phonetic alphabet. So I know the phonetic alphabet just from flying with my pops. And, it's listening to those streams. It's kind of like, it's like a trip down memory lane, but it's also, it's like soothing or calming because it takes you back to a place in life where it was like serenity, right? And you can relive that. And as we get older, we look for that. We look for ways to kind of go back to where we were way back when and revisit those thoughts and emotions. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. So what else is? I know one of the announcements that I saw, and I was reading this from earlier today. You guys had a problem with the streams only refreshing every 15 minutes, and then you were actually trying to make sure you didn't break the rate limiter, but you actually figured out a way. Like Hank figured out a way, or the team over there figured out a way to get it to refresh every 1 minute without breaking the rate limiter.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into these APIs or whatever. There's all different kinds of factors that play into, like, you have to think about everything. So like the rate limit is one of the things that we have to keep continuously thinking about, because we can't deal with too much data where we hit that limit and then something breaks or stuff doesn't come through correctly under Rio. So we have to always keep that in mind. So one of the defaults for the API was that the indexing happened every 15 minutes, so every 15-minute intervals. So like I put in the announcement, if you were going live and the index happened, let's just say 15 was the last 15-minute interval, it's went live now. If people went under Rio, they wouldn't see that you were live until 8:30, which is the next 15-minute indexing. So there's kind of like that gap there. So it would suck, because for people who are going live and live streaming and want to build their audience and stuff, they post on Twitter, they post on Facebook, wherever. They say, "Hey, I'm live now," and they go to Rio, and they can't see you're live. That's an issue. Like
Yeah.
people aren't going to be able to see that you're live. So that made that a priority. And getting it down to 5 minutes was like my goal, just because of that seems doable, and it seemed like a good increasing it from 15 to 5 seemed like a significant jump, but they were able to get it down to 1 minute, which is even better. So
Awesome.
and that was a big win for us. So
I was texting Hank earlier. I was giving him a hard time, telling him he need to pop on the show and jump up here on stage with us. And he was, I think
Yeah,
he's,
I was gonna ask him too, but there's just so much that I can talk
yeah.
about too. I didn't want him taking up my time.
Well, I
He
mean,
can have his own. He can have his own time.
he can come on the show. He's been on the show before, and we've enjoyed having him. I know he's got a lot on his plate because Nobility's not the only project he's working on too. So
Yeah,
a lot of cool things happening in that regard. But so I know you guys have been. And I've been in this space as well, and outside of the crypto space, I've been involved in cap raising and sales and B2B sales a lot in my personal business history. So I know fundraising and raising capital is a very difficult and challenging thing to do, and especially
yeah,
when you say we're a crypto company, right? And like we're gaming and we're crypto, and there's all like I know you probably have like 1,000 war stories about how hard it's been, but I know recently you've had some success raising some money for this project. So talk a little bit about how that's going along. Like how is the fundraising going, and what are some of the benefits coming out of those conversations?
it's a lot of benefits, and the whole process has not been that great. Like like there's benefits of like meeting these people because there's a lot of great people out there who have been super successful in the past, have amazing connections and stuff like that. But the whole process has been a pain in the butt. I've never done any fundraising for any business ever. Like I've always used my own money, and that's just how it's always been. Like I've never had to go through this whole process before. And Matt has never done it before either. He's always bootstrapped to his. So this is new to both of us. So we've talked to a lot of different people for tips and advice on this kind of situation, whatever. But we were talking to a firm out in West Palm Beach for maybe 3 months. I apologize. I should have waited another week to do this, but
It's good.
um, yeah, a lot of interruptions. But that firm, it was just guys who didn't really. This was more of like a passion project for them. They didn't have any connections in the space. Typically, invest into companies that are medical offices or trees or that kind of stuff, like more brick and mortar stuff. They're not really familiar with the tech industry or esports or gaming or streaming or anything like that. And so it was great that they were interested and they wanted to do this with us and give us that financial backing, but equity in return. And it's like they didn't have any connections, and we want more of like a strategic fit, somebody that has connections and partnerships and collaborations that we could leverage and take advantage of that could take us to the next level. Because yeah, that money can definitely take us to the next level, get a lot of the stuff that we have on our initial roadmap done, but we want to do way more than that. And the only way to do that is if we are able to partner up and talk to other people in this space. So um, been talking to people who are we actually finalized a deal with our first advisor. So I guess in this whole process, you want to build like a backing of advisors, of people who can guide you through the process, but you also need that lead investor to lead the round.
Yep.
And we're still looking for that lead investor. We have some people in mind, and we have some calls scheduled for the rest of this week. But we do have a locked in who has a very impressive background in esports and gaming and big companies and exits. So he was definitely a good person to talk to. We actually finalized that today. So we have one person locked in, just trying to find that lead investor so that we can start moving on some bigger moves.
Nice. That's good. Starting to find money and get money in is good. So, uh, obviously, want to give everybody in the audience who's here for the live show a chance to interact. There is a chat box off to the right of this. If you want to type your questions in, you can type your questions for Kyle, and I'll read them here over the air, and we can get those questions answered. If you have any questions for Kyle or myself. Let's see. I had a couple other things. So, how is the TikTok integration coming along?
Oh, that's good. Hank and his team. So even able to look at the API documentation, so like the developer docs, until we got approved, and we were going back and forth emails with them for weeks and weeks, just like the YouTube stuff, which is a pain in the butt. But TikTok takes it super seriously. Like all the terms of service and privacy policy stuff, they take it so seriously. So it's been a little bit more complex than the other two that we had locked in, but we got approved finally. had to spend a bunch of money on an attorney to get everything locked in, but yeah, we finally got approved, and then we can start looking at the developer documentation. So Hank and his team have been going through that and seeing. I guess they're scoping it out and seeing exactly how it's going to work. So it's moving along for sure. It's like our number one priority right now.
We're gonna raise some funds and get you like a ring light for your dark room that you're in. You're like the dark Kyle. I remember the last time you were here, you came on and they were like, "It's dark Kyle,"
Yeah,
because your background.
I have a light in my office. I just don't like putting it on.
Yeah, I was like changing the colors of my library and getting everything
Yeah.
ready and like trying to do this major like want my screen. I'll bring it up. Like want my screen to look all cool for you guys so you can like see. And then Kyle's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna show up with the black background here." Just, I love it, man. I love it. I love it. Yeah, Marshmallow in the chat says he's in a strip club celebrating the Rio launch. I'm like, I doubt with a toddler. I doubt it. An infant, really, right? Like he's still a little one.
Yeah, you got any more questions for me?
Yeah, my birthday's Thursday night. You want to go out? Want to have some fun?
Yeah, you want to?
It's coming together. We might actually do it Saturday just because Thursday night's kind of rough, but we might actually do something Saturday night here in Tampa if you want to go have some fun. We hadn't decided yet whether it's steaks and cigars or something like that. We may do something fun, but yeah.
Is it your family or who's coming?
Hernan's going to be there, and a couple of my friends that are Tennessee fans from here in the neighborhood, and yeah, some of the guys that were from the Walmart and Amazon group, and some folks like that. So it would be fun. I mean, we can write it off for sure if you want to. We can call it a tax deduction. You can see the meme is up there for the monkey and the phone. So.
The monkey phone.
That is, I don't know. I just from the very beginning. This is funny where that comes from. The backstory on it. When Nobility was first getting like really exciting and the price was going up, we were calling people and telling them about Nobility over the phone. And anytime I would get somebody on the phone, I would put that little meme in the chat. And I wasn't really meaning for it to become a thing, but over time it was like. I couldn't even post that meme anymore because even if I was just making a phone call and I put up the meme, everybody was like looking for the buy bot to start going off right afterwards. And I'm like, it did quite a bit, but it didn't, at some point, not every call was a working call. So that's kind of funny, the monkey meme. Everybody, now when I jump on the Nobility community, you just start typing. Like the other day, I was just typing something and Marshmallow's like, uh-oh, Tango's typing. What's he going to say? And then the freaking phone memes start flying. I was just like, oh, my God, dude. I feel like I need to get back to work and start calling some more people. But
That's what you should have been for Halloween.
I honestly, I thought about it. I could see doing the monkey with the phone and just like taking the meme itself and like making it into a Halloween costume. I may have to do that next year for sure. I kind of like, I think it's a great idea. But yeah, so let's see. What else we got going on? So what else? I know Rio. So a lot of people that are here live, and obviously a lot of people that will come back and watch the recording of this show are members of the Tango community. So if you had to drill it down into like a 3-minute elevator pitch, how will Rio help the holders of Nobility in terms of reflections? I think a lot of people are confused about that, and there's a lot of speculation. So help clear that up. Like, how does that help?
People are confused about it? Dang, I am struggling over here.
Told you that fireball would have helped you, man. I'm telling you, it clears the throat.
Yeah. So the main way is going to be the tipping. That's going to be the first and like most important way. Transaction that flows through tipping. So every dollar that's tipped from an audience member or a fan to any of the streamers on the platform is automatically going to hit the charts for Nobility. Not that amount. We had to do it a certain way. We had to like circumvent it a little bit just to make it more like most efficient. And Hank and I discussed this for, oh my, I don't even know how long we discussed it, like trying to optimize the whole process to make sure that worked for us, worked for the holders, worked for everybody, and there wasn't too much sell pressure. There wasn't any like weird stuff going on in the whole process. And the best way we could do it is for all the money that flows through, it goes to our bank account. From our bank account, we use like actual cash, so fiat, to purchase B&B over the counter at one of the OTC firms that we use. It's actually the same people that we used for all the monkey foam people that we brought in a couple years ago. It's the same guys that we worked with them. We
Yep.
trust them. I mean, we were sending those guys millions of dollars a day some days,
Yeah.
and so they didn't mess up a single transaction. So we trust them with everything. So we use our funds, buy the B&B from them. They send the B&B to one of our third party, or not third party wallets, or one of our wallets that aren't affiliated with the business directly. So it's not like a deployer wallet, or it's not our treasury or anything like that. It's gonna be its own separate wallet, and we're gonna just create an algorithm that's gonna automatically and randomly send or make purchases every 30 minutes, hour, whatever it may be, and that whole all just going to be funded by all the tips that are coming in. It's just going to be like a continuous process. So
Love it.
we just need to keep enough funds in the bank account to cover like our monthly expenses for like hosting and server costs and stuff like that. And we do have like some softwares that we use every month for like emailing and text messaging stuff for notifications. But costs are pretty low. And then besides that, we could use the rest of it for funneling back into buys on the chart. And so that's the main thing. But then we're also coming out with features outside of Rio that are going to directly impact Nobility as well. So I'm not allowed to talk about that yet, but we do have a bunch of stuff that's coming out that will impact it. But the tipping thing is going to be the first thing, really. And we think, like, with the amount of streamers that we do have access to and that are going to be signing up, especially through organizations, it will make a significant impact on the charts eventually. So
That's
we're
that's
excited about it.
that's the best part, because I know, popularity is what drives price and buys are what drive price. So you're basically saying that people tipping back and forth are going to put little buys on the chart. And anybody that's been around crypto for more than a minute, once they figured out that they can go watch a live chart, they understand that emotion and that connection to the chart. When you start to see, if you're watching like a 1 minute chart and it goes green, 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 you start to see that price go up. There's that emotional connection for people that were like sitting on the fence. That's at that time they're like, okay, I want to buy this, right? So I think that organic part of the tipping, showing that money kind of hitting the chart, it's going to drive people to the token and also drive up the price. So talking
Yeah.
about price, I think originally the all-time high was what? I think it was a decimal 3 zeros 15, right? Was the all-time
Yeah.
high, somewhere in there. And on that day, I think we did a little over 5 million in sales volume in that 24-hour period. Is that right? Something like
Somewhere
that?
around there.
Like
It was insane. Like there were some people that were making literally like $1,000 a day just from reflections. It was crazy.
Yeah, I talked to one guy who said he made 75 grand off reflections just during that time when we were running, when it was running up and the popularity was just teeming day after day. So I guess,
Yeah. And
where do you think that $5 million day fits? Like, where does Rio push that to? Is that a good day? Is that a bad day? Is that a regular? Like, how does 5 million stack up in a 24-hour period versus, like, what are your expectations for Rio?
yeah, within the net, I don't even know honestly. Like it just depends on how some of these things play out and how fast we could develop a lot of these features and stuff. But volume, like all we need is like a couple big streamers, and that could be a
Bless you.
thousand dollars in tips a day just from a couple guys. It's insane, like the amount of volume that we could do, and I'm so excited to see where we can get it. But my short-term goal is to get it to $100,000 in volume a day. I think that's enough to bring in enough crypto investors and engage their interest and bring them over into our community and stuff like that to be involved. And then it's just going to pile on top of each other. That's what I love about this is aren't dependent on the crypto market. We're not dependent on crypto investors. Like we're dependent on our platform and these gamers and their fans to come and just transact with the platform. Like And that's it. Just do what they're already doing. Like we're not forcing anybody to buy crypto or anything like that. Like it's already stuff they know how to do. They can use PayPal. They can use credit card. Like it's so easy. We make it as easy as possible.
Yeah.
And so we're not dependent on anybody in the crypto market. But because of that volume that's being generated from these gamers and their fans and everything like that, it's going to look more enticing, and our chart's going to look more enticing. The volume's going to look more enticing to crypto investors and bring them in. They're going to invest, and it's just going to pile on top of each other. So that's what makes us excited, and I think it's going to get
Warming up my hands, warming up my hands, getting excited about this.
there's going to be a lot of monkeys out there on phones.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I know. There's a lot of people that I've talked to that was an initial investment for them, and now they're kind of sour on it because they haven't been following. Like they bought it, and like you said, those guys. I like those over the counter guys because you can wire them $50,000 and like an hour later you've got that BNB sitting in your wallet ready to make a buy. Like they're serious about getting those big transactions done. So I know you can scale. Some of those monkey phone memes were for 25 and 50 grand a pop, and they were just like that. But then so my problem was a lot of those people, they just took it on account. Like they said, if you're in, I'm in, right? So it wasn't much convincing. And I was just like, just go look at the chart. Here's what they're doing. It's going to be a mix of the gaming community and the crypto community are going to come together. You know how many streamers there are? There's like 1 billion people streaming right now, da 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 da. And everybody got excited. But then it kind of, we hit the crypto winter, which is, it's affected everybody. But the nobility community has remained strong throughout the entire time of it being down. I mean, the holder count has literally almost not changed, right? I mean, it's like 100 up or down occasionally, but the holder count has remained pretty much the same. And I see a lot of people on those buy bots, you can see where it says position increased. It's a lot of people that are buying and buying and buying, and they're just adding to the bag. I was at last week. I finally hit my major goal of 250, and I was missing it by just a little bit, but I just kept going and going. There's a lot of people that have been involved in the community. Kind of talk a little bit about the nobility community because I know you've been building that less like a crypto and more like a gaming community. So how's that been going along over in the nobility side for a community?
Yeah, the community is amazing. Like that's like half the reason why I love like every day working on this stuff is because of people like that. I have a lot of family and friends and stuff that are holders as well, but I met a lot of these community members in Vegas when we had our Nobility meetup out in Vegas at the HyperX Arena and had like a big
Yeah.
esports tournament over there for Mario Kart and stuff like that. Awesome people. Like I could be friends with them in real life. Like, and a lot of them are here in Florida too. You should come up and meet some of them. Like April, like I said, Duke. They're in Florida. So, but a lot of these people are awesome. It's just like they stuck around because they do feel like a family, and they just got so close by meeting each other in person out in Vegas. So it just created an even stronger bond than was already there. But I love everyone in there, man. And like even people that are out now who haven't been as active as they have in the past, I still love all of them, man. So like even you, like you used to be so active in there, then you kind of drifted off and like did your own thing. I think that's awesome, like creating your own community and stuff. And I don't expect people to be here forever, but I mean, I wish they did and just like checked in every once in a while just to catch up and see how things are. But yeah,
I love it. I love dropping in there. It's like every time you get into the nobility Discord, it's just like there's always somebody in there talking. There's always something cool going on. It's always a positive vibe. It's a great place to hang out. I've made friends in there, and I'm proud to say that. So it's a fun place. It's always good. They say you can tell the quality of a crypto project by the gauging the quality of their community, and nobility community is just exceptional. It's the absolute pinnacle of amazing. So
yeah,
definitely cool people in there.
yeah.
I would definitely love to be involved in a meetup or something like that. Like if you want to put something like that together and I'll help promote it or whatever, I'm in. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
Yeah, we definitely want to do another one. I actually looked at doing one in Orlando. I think one of the biggest esports or one of the biggest college esports venues are in Orlando. So I was going to do one out there and have everyone fly into there. I don't know if that's selfish or not because I live right here, but I think it'd be fun. But to even do in Vegas again, I think is awesome. There's people that came from like Australia, like all over the place.
Wow.
So I mean, people are flying from all over. It was awesome.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Welcome everybody to the show. Thank you for being here. I've got Kyle McDougal, CEO of Nobility Token, and the new Rio
Yeah.
streaming platform just came out here. If you have any questions, the Tango Crypto stage has a chat just off to the right. You can type your questions, or if you'd like to come up on stage and ask a question live, you can raise your hand, and as long as you have a microphone connected, you can pop up here and ask a question. Feel free to raise your hand if you'd like to come up on stage and ask a question. Um,
I
I
see Darren just came in. He missed everything pretty much.
yeah, Darren, late. You know what is you just like on your own time clock or something there, buddy? Or what? Welcome, Darren. Welcome to the show.
I want Marshmallow to come up here. I want to hear his voice.
Marshmallow, you want to hop up here, buddy?
He's a big yapper. Look at him down there. Darren's a loser. He
Yap
does
it.
a lot of talking.
Raise your hand. He says he can't. Right? Are you at the fire station right now? Are you on shift?
He's got his mask on.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah, he's on shift. Yeah, he's this is I give him a hard time because he and I are in similar industries. I'm in the ambulance business and he's a fire medic. So I always tell him, I say, yeah, I know what you're doing. I've got cameras on my trucks. I know what they're doing. They're parked under a shade tree, eating a payday, playing Clash Royale, waiting for a call. I know what he's doing. He says he can't talk, but he's in a Publix parking lot. That's what he's doing.
I was about to say, my mom's new boyfriend. Well, not new boyfriend. She's been dating him for about a year now. Like he was in the fire department. He was one of the chief or whatever. And he tells us, it's like, I can't believe these people are saving our lives. They're doing this crap at the station that you wouldn't even believe, and they go out and save people. It's insane.
I've never been on the fire side, so I don't. If I jest with any, like I figure it's a good idea to mess with a fire guy, just like it is to like poke a Marine. It's a bad idea. Like don't do it. Right? They're gonna give you a hard time. But all the guys that I've met, like the school where I went to get my EMT certification, and like I've gone back and recruited a lot of medics from that school. Those dudes are just constantly on each other. Like you want to talk about practical joking and political infighting and all the fun stuff that comes with it. I tell you what,
Yeah. I think it's like what Darren just said in the chat. You have to have humor in that job, and I think the practical jokes and all that stuff just goes right into that.
it is, and the cooking is it's like you see on the TV shows. The cooking is amazing. And you talk about guys that just, I mean, obviously when you get ready to start cooking for lots of people, I love to use I've got a smoker trailer in my backyard that I can hook up to my Jeep and take it with me anywhere, and it's like a full size like 500-gallon propane tank that's been converted. When you start cooking for other people, it's like, I know for me, like that's a lot of fun, right? Like that's you start to put your life into it. These guys cook for each other on those 24-hour shifts all the time, and some of them are exceptional. Like you can't beat their barbecue. Yeah, I see. There's a lot of funny chat going on. Dragon Slayer says Marshmallow's a shit cook. Literally the worst. I mean, come on, you guys better be loving on each other in the chat right there. But so Kyle, are you a football fan? Are you a college football fan?
You know I am, Dave.
Okay. So I wanted to do my off topic with you tonight. This is championship weekend coming up for NCAA football. The regular season is over. So actually, the bids just came in a little while ago. The top four was announced, and Florida State's in.
Rough night.
Ohio State's out. Florida State's in. You know, there's a lot of stuff coming up. So on Friday night, Conference USA Championship, you got New Mexico State versus number 24 Liberty, and it's Liberty minus 10. Do you know anything about those games? Those two schools? Liberty's undefeated.
Wow.
Yeah, in the Conference USA, they're 12-0 going up against 10-3 New Mexico State, and it's Liberty minus 10. So I don't know which one. If they're undefeated, I'd probably take Liberty in the points. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know anything about Liberty. I didn't realize they were that good at football. I didn't even know they had a football team, honestly.
Yeah, they got some. I think a couple of it wasn't their coach from last year. Like he moved up and became the coach somewhere else. I can't remember, but Also on Friday night, you got number 3 Washington at number 5 Oregon in the Pac-12 championship. It's Oregon
Yeah.
minus 9.5. Washington's undefeated. Oregon is 11-1. Who do you got in that game?
It's Oregon minus 9.5.
Oregon minus 9.5.
Oh,
It's the underdog spread. Yeah.
I would take Washington with the points on that one.
Yeah.
9.5 is a lot of points for a championship game.
I agree. I don't know what those odds are, and it could just be the early odds that are coming out there.
Should be a good game too, because whoever wins that is going to make the playoffs.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, and it's a deal breaker if Oregon does win the game, because then Washington's out and and Oregon's going to pop back in. So that's awesome that's on Friday night, 8 p.m. So there'll be a bunch of games on Saturday. Starting on Saturday, you got Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. Number 7 Texas at Oklahoma State. Texas minus 14.5. Who do you like?
14.5. That's a lot of points for a championship game. I would take the points.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Texas
I mean,
looks really good.
that could be anybody's game for sure. And here's the big one.
Ewers used to play for Ohio State, and then he transferred.
Oh yeah. What? So now it's like
Joe Burrow. We had such talent that we just let it slip out of our fingers.
Are you a huge Ohio State fan, or just like a
Huge,
what?
My entire life, I'm a huge Browns fan. Everything Ohio.
You love Ohio. There it is. You heard it here first. All right. Here's the big one at 4 p.m. on Saturday. You've got the SEC championship. Number 1 Georgia, undefeated, 12-0, obviously top of their game, versus number 8 Alabama, 11-1. It's Georgia minus 6 in that game. What do you think?
I think Georgia.
I like Alabama with the upset.
Yeah, you never see Alabama get that many points.
This doesn't have.
You think they're gonna win? You think Alabama's winning outright?
I think Alabama puts it on them. I think they have no other reason than to just stop the train, right? And they don't want them to get a three-peat, because they've never, like, Alabama's always standing on championships, right? We got the championship. Well, if Georgia gets the three-peat, they're the first ones to do it since the 80s. And I don't think you know what I mean? Alabama's on the list, but it's from like the 80s or the 70s. They don't want to let Georgia get that three-peat. And if Alabama beats Georgia, it's going to shake up that top 4. So
I think you changed my mind. I think Alabama with the 6 points. I think it's gonna.
Yeah.
Good.
Maybe a field goal, maybe something else. Who do you like? American Athletic. You got Tulane at 11-1 versus SMU 10-2. It's Tulane minus 4.
Yeah, I like Tulane. It's 4.
I think so too. Okay, then you got the Big Ten Championship at 8 p.m. Saturday night. Number 2 Michigan still undefeated after that last game with the backup quarterbacks and everything. Man, I mean, come on, what was going on there? But they've got Iowa. Number 16 is the championship foe at 10-2. It's Michigan minus 23.
I think they're going to win big. I just don't think they're going to cover 23 points. Iowa's horrible. Their defense is pretty solid, but their offense is just terrible.
Yeah.
But I think I'm taking Iowa with the points.
Iowa.
23 points.
You don't think Michigan's going to cover is what you're saying. They'll beat them, but they won't cover the spread.
Oh, yeah. I think they'll definitely beat them for sure. I just don't think they're going to cover 23.
Okay. All right. And then the last one here is the ACC Championship. You've got Florida State, obviously undefeated. Florida looked like they were going to beat them for a lot of that game. Yeah. Florida State was looking stinky, but they somehow found a way to win that game Saturday night. They got Louisville, number 14, 10-2, and it's Florida State minus 2.5. They're calling for a close game here. What do you think?
I like the 2.5. I hope Florida State loses, because I think if they lose, then Ohio State's going to squeak in. Sorry, but yeah, I think Florida State minus 2.5, unfortunately.
Nice. Well, I like pulling that up and just kind of talking about that. Who do you think is going to win the championship this year? Who do you think goes all the way?
Ohio State.
You think Ohio State's still going to do it all the way? Find a way? You just never give up, right?
If we can squeak in, we can definitely win. I
Well,
think
it's
Georgia isn't as good as they were the past couple of years. I think we definitely beat Michigan at a neutral field,
gotcha.
but we'll see.
Well, there's hope, right? So you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance for sure.
There's a chance.
I apologize, Darren, that you got in the back end of this conversation. Didn't hear anything about Rio or anything about that, but you're gonna post the recording for this?
Yeah, this will be recorded, and I'll put it up for sure. And I've double checked it this time. Last week my video wasn't working, and this week my audio was flaking out on us in the beginning. But
Look what we were missing out on. Look at that beautiful face.
I wish. You're so funny. At least you can see my face. I mean, I could be wearing a Batman costume and be right behind you, and you'd never even know it. Sitting in the dark doing a show. Dark Kyle.
I love working in the dark. I don't know what it is. I think it's like a subconscious thing of it's dark outside, and I just feel like I have some kind of competitive advantage over people because I'm working and I feel like they're sleeping, something like that. I don't know.
Marshmallow says dark like your heart.
Yeah. Okay, Marcy.
You know, for somebody who can't get on the mic and talk, he sure does text a lot in chat during the show.
He's a yapper.
Awesome. So what do you think? What do you think? Like 2-year, 5-year, 10-year Nobility plan. Let's talk about market cap. Just thoughts. I know you can't project. I know you can't predict, but just what is your goal? Like, what do you want it to look like in 2, 5, and 10?
I honestly don't really care about the market cap. Like, I'm just gonna keep on that's not gonna change anything that I do. Like, the market cap isn't gonna change anything, so I'm just gonna keep on doing what I've been doing. I guess Matt and I are so focused on building Rio and making sure that it benefits Nobility holders, and it's just like that's all we're focused on. Like, we don't care about anything else really. I mean, we care about like the volume it brings and stuff like that. But if we do the right things and bring in the right people, then that's just gonna happen naturally.
It's all about the volume.
I guess to answer your question, I don't want to move around it, but I guess I don't really know if I can answer that. Like, I don't really care about it. I don't think there is a ceiling, honestly. Like, I think we could definitely generate enough volume from the utilities that we have planned and the ones that we already have out now that I think we're going to be able to be pretty dangerous. But
I like dangerous. I like dangerous a lot. I like it a lot. I like everything that's going on with this project. You think it gets as big as like a Meta or YouTube, or like does it become one of those major mentioned in every conversation social platforms?
I don't know. We talked about it today with the guy that we brought in as one of our advisors for our fundraising, and he has exited a bunch of significant companies. It's amazing what he's done in his career, and we just talked about he's worked at Twitch in the past as well, so he knows this space tremendously. Like, he knows everything about it. Super knowledgeable, super bright guy, but he asked us a bunch of tough questions about user acquisition, because we have to think about two things. Our community is very focused on the streamers that we bring on board, and I get why. That's the bread and butter of it all, but that's super easy. That's really easy to bring on streamers. That's not going to be an issue at all. I think the biggest thing is taking people away from Twitch and these other platforms and bring them onto our platform. So the streaming part's easy, but bringing users onto the platform to watch these people on ours rather than these other ones that have been established for so long that these people think of as home, that's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. So if we can overcome that, then I think the sky's the limit. It's just going to be hockey stick growth, and I think eventually we can turn it into our own social media platform eventually for gamers. So we do have a bunch of plans, so we'll see where it goes, but raise that money and then knock out some of the things that we have on our short-term roadmap, and then we'll go from there. But I like our chances.
For sure, I like your chances too. I like where it's going. I like the positive energy around it. I can't wait to see it go big. Just like I told you earlier, I wanna see those reflections coming in every day, just like everybody else does, and I want to be able to.
Yeah. And also to go along with that too, I think we're going about it with the right mindset too. Constant communication with the different users on our platform, like Big Duke. I talk to him pretty much every day. I have another guy in our community. He's messaged me 6 times since we got on here that I haven't read yet, but he takes gaming very seriously too. And it's like, I value our users' feedback. Like, it doesn't matter what I think about stuff. Like, that has no, like, it just depends on the users, so the streamers and the fans, like both sides of it. So I like to get feedback from those people, and then bring it up to Matt, and we'll make a list of everything that people are saying, different opinions and feedback and stuff like that. See if anything is popping up a few times, and then go over it together. But I think a lot of companies did that. If they were doing that, I think they'd be more successful. I think that's one of the things that's bringing down Twitch right now is they don't listen to their creators at all. So the people that are making them money. So I don't understand why they don't do it, but I think we're going about it the right way.
The creators, drive the content. That's why they call them creators. I got a question here from Marshmallow. He says, when do you feel like we should reasonably start seeing the tipping on the charts, like days, weeks, months? And I know that this is just onboarding streamers now. So like ballpark it, when do you think that we'll start to see those tips going through, and then that chart revolution behind it, kind of the cycle?
Yeah, so I hope nobody thought there was going to be like an instant spike in the chart. I tried to set that expectation pretty early, and I tried to nail it in the coffin, but probably weeks. It won't be too long. Like, we'll definitely see at least some activity very soon. The tipping stuff does work. It's functional. So when we bring these tippers on, we just have to. There's like 2 stages of this whole process. We have to bring so we have to onboard all the streamers with the platform, and then we have to kind of educate them on the tools too, and tipping. Those tools, I think we're going to be more successful with the tipping widgets that can be embedded inside of like their Twitch and like their other streaming platform
Yeah.
bios right now, as opposed to just Rio. So I mean, they can set up the Rio tipping stuff, but I think we're going to be successful with them being able to embed everything with inside of their socials and stuff like that outside of Rio. And we'll go from there. But so there's kind of like 2 steps to this whole process. We just have to educate a little bit. So it'll take a little bit of time, but we're already onboarding streamers, so we just have to get to that point.
For sure. I see Darren here says, I really want to turn on cross blockchain buying. If I miss that, then I'm late to the party. Getting Ethereum buyers will be huge. I know Diamond Swap already kind of has like a bridge or something built into it. And I think this is already developed. It's just a matter of there being like a press for it. So is that part of the plan?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to move over to Diamond Swap, and this is something we told the community too. Is probably the major reason why we moved to Diamond Swap. Like, besides that, and then the sell pressure that like Pancake Swap and these other dexes do without your knowledge. Like, nobody really knows if that's happening. But besides that, the cross chain stuff is something that I wanted to do, and that was like an idea that I threw by Hank like a year and a half ago. I was like, hey man, we need to do something where we can have a shared supply, have buyers come from ETH, like all these different chains, and every transaction, doesn't matter if it's on ETH or BNB or whatever, it all impacts the price and everything the same. All the reflections are the same. Fits. And so we finally got to that point and he implemented it with inside of Diamond Swap.
Yep.
And I don't think it's live yet. It's not functional yet. He's working on it. I know he just did a $600,000 raise.
Yep.
So I think that's going to be included inside of what that money is for. But I wanted to get that out of the way now instead of later, because when we have all these streamers on inside of our community and stuff like that, a lot more holders, I don't want to do this whole migration thing again. It's such a pain in the ass to do the whole in market cap stuff, the CoinGecko stuff, the change of the contract. I spent so much time with people that were hitting me up on Telegram, Facebook, Instagram, all over the place saying, hey, why does this show 0? How do I do this? How can you do this for me? I was like, spending weeks doing it. So doing it now is way more important to me than waiting until doing it later after Rio's launched and there's much stuff going on.
You aren't the only one, brother. The monkey phone was ringing whenever the value went to 0 on all those bags. Trust me. Everybody they're not doing anything, but I promise you they're opening Trust Wallet every day and looking at that balance.
Yeah.
And when it went to 0 because CMC was disconnected when we moved the LP over to Diamond Swap, boy, that was a fun day. I was like texting Hank, like, we got to do something.
Yeah.
We got to do something. Something's not working.
I That's the one bad thing about crypto. Like even my own friends and family, like they have no idea what was going on. They're not part of the Discord or Telegram or anything. I think that's one of the downfalls of crypto is like there's no way to reach out to each individual wallet. You don't even know who 90% of these people are. There's no way to communicate with them. So unless they're in your Discord or Telegram or social media, like they have no idea what's going on. So there's no way to update them. So I should get with Hank and tell him. Like I know he's creating like a CoinMarketCap competitor kind of that's going to be integratable with Diamond Swap. I said, dude, you need some way where projects can somehow like send out notifications to holders so that they know what's going on, so they're not left in the dark thinking that they're rugged or something like that. Because it would avoid so much confusion and I think negative feelings toward crypto. So
You open the door to spamming when you do that, but honestly, it's kind of like would be the evil that would have to come with it. But imagine being able to send a message to every wallet and it just pop up
yeah,
as like a DM in Trust Wallet
yeah,
and say, "Hey, your money is fine. We're moving the LP over." Like a quick announcement channel.
yeah,
Obviously everybody's anonymous, right? Like you see my wallet address, you don't know it's me. I see another wallet address, I don't know who it is. You maybe kind of like there's the super sleuths out there that kind of deduce over
yeah.
time who moves money where, and they can kind of figure out whose wallet it is. But
Yeah,
the
because
privacy
it's so
side.
easy. I know, like Trust Wallet gets their data and their information from CoinMarketCap, and it'd be so easy. We can go to CoinMarketCap, verify that we're actually like the owners of the project, and like we're going through a migration. Say, hey, can you send this like notification out to people that are holding this, and say, hey, we're going through this migration. It could be sent over to Trust Wallet, pop up for the user, or whatever, and it's like they click a button, add the new contract, and it's over instead of all this mass confusion all over the place. So
Well, I know that's why we've moved to an upgradable contract. Darren made a good point
yeah,
here. He says there's over 9,000 holders of the V2 token Nobility still on the old contract, and he says many are dustings, but plenty of them are not, and wish they would come to V3. Now, I know I've had to personally try to help some people do that migration, and I know Ever Migrate, which is kind of the way to make it work. Sometimes you're looking at that pigeon, aren't you? Are you looking at? I just saw you smiling. Are you looking at the pigeon doing suicide? Like I keep looking at it, and I can't stop laughing. It's the funniest meme. It's like watching a pigeon jump off the top of the Empire State Building during like Black Monday or something. Like the prices went to zero. We all killed ourselves. but moving people in a migration, there's real no easy way to do that. So I know that's kind of the idea behind the upgradable contract. And honestly, I
yeah,
know he's not here, so I don't mind saying it behind his back. I'd say it to his face, but I think it's really a good credit that you have Hank as part of the project, because he strikes me as the kind of guy who he doesn't just think around a problem. He thinks like straight through it, like a knife through it. He
yeah,
created Diamond
yeah,
Swap because the issue with finding somewhere that you could have reflections work everywhere was you needed a DEX that would support it, right? I mean, there was like L Bank or something back in the day was the one that gave us they said, yeah, we'll do it. And there was other DEXs out there that were like, no, you can trade here, but nobody's going to get a reflection. So, he said, screw it. I'll just make my own DEX and then we'll go from there. And it turns out
yeah.
being successful. So
I think
having
that's
him
why
on.
Hank and I have gotten along so well and like worked well together. And I know like he has very good morals and intentions and everything. It's like whenever we come across some kind of issue, like there's an issue all the time in this space or whatever. It's like it's never like we don't really give up on it or try to find a way around it. It's like we know there's a solution. It's just a matter of like what that solution is. And like I don't know how many times I've asked him about something about a contract or something with Rio. It's like, hey, I want to do this, and he said, I don't think it's possible. It's like there's a solution for everything. It's just a matter of finding it and spending the time on figuring out what that is. So
Right.
that it's gotten us to some good things. But he's finally like on the same page as me, like at the point where he's like, all right, there's definitely a solution for everything, and we just got to do what we got to do to find it. So we might have to do some workarounds and stuff like that, but there's always a solution for everything.
Always, always. So we've gone an hour, and I respect your time. I don't want to keep you any longer than I have to. And if anybody has any last questions for Kyle, go ahead and type them up real quick in the chat, or you can raise your hand to come up on stage. I know some people join the show recently. If you want to come up and say your question on the mic, you can. You're welcome to do so. Just raise your hand. We'll bring you up on stage. So, in the parting shot, always, I think you've been able to send off like some type of a really exciting announcement or something like that, like a tidbit or a chicken nugget to go into the dip. You know what? You got any tea you can spill on the Tango show, or maybe a hint at what might be coming up next for the big project with Nobility and Rio?
Honestly, like I'm pretty transparent in everything we're doing that I'm allowed to talk about right now. It's like I've been sharing like our development updates, even like the small ones that are happening.
I
It's like
see
I've been
that.
updating people on our fundraising and stuff like that. So there's really nothing secretive right now. I mean, other than like a bunch of the features that we're coming out with, we have a bunch of secrets there, but it's pretty out in the open. I try to keep it that way, so to keep the questions down. But no, I think the only thing is that I already mentioned that we have our first like advisor for our fundraising thing. I think that's a big thing. He's a huge figure in the space. He used to work for Twitch. He's exited multiple companies. He's been in gaming and technology for 20 years. So we're excited about that for right now. So that's the biggest thing that came out of today. But other than that, I've been pretty open with everything. So I
Yeah,
mean,
you
people just
you
ask me. I
you
always
dropped a
answer.
bunch of news on me today. I appreciate you being here. I know you can't always spit nuggets out, but I'm sure that there's so much going on right now. There's probably something coming out tomorrow, and you don't even know it because they're just going to call you and say, "Okay, it's done. Let's go." And then I can see like you're just typing up an announcement like every 4 hours with something new getting
Yeah.
dropped because your team is just like cracking their fingers on keyboards and banging their heads against
Yeah.
the screens, working so hard
And
right now.
yeah, it's like nonstop now. That's the best part about all this. Like we finally released Rio or whatever. It's like we're not back and it's not just 24/7 development anymore. Like we'd actually start making like bigger moves and stuff. So and like the development now that like the MVP's out, the development's never gonna stop. Like we're pretty much have Hank on retainer every single month. It's just a matter of getting the funds that we're able to like present and get more done in a short amount of time. Because I feel like I hate it. That's the one thing about being an entrepreneur. Like I feel like if I'm not optimizing my time or efficiently, then I feel like I'm missing
Yeah.
opportunities. So I just want to raise that money so quick so that we can start on these features that talk about, get those in development, get them out there to the public, and start growing Rio even more. And it just kills me every day that we don't have the funds yet to be able to do that. So
100%. I'm in the same boat with my project, with the ambulance project right now. I've got my application sent off to the state of Florida for Medicare to get the application, and they're like, it takes 15 to 30 days to get it processed, and I'm like, today is 22. Like,
yeah,
are y'all done yet? Like, they have reached out and said, hey, we need you to send us this, we need you to send that, and it's like 30 seconds. I'm already on it. Send it to eFax, upload it, boom, pop it back over. So I know what it feels like, I guess, to relate. When you're an entrepreneur, you want to be like, it's better when it's chopping up wood all day long than if you're just sitting around sharpening the axe, because you do need to sharpen the axe. It's important that you do, and you need to be ready. But when you got a bunch of wood out there and you're just ready to chop, that's kind of, I know that's where you are because you're chopping the shit out of some wood right over there now. I know with your project, you guys are really rocking it over there. So
yeah, it's a blessing and a curse too. Like I don't like taking vacations because I do the same thing. I'm like, oh, this is stupid. Like I just want to get back to work and start doing some stuff. So my wife knows that too. We've only taken one vacation since we've been married, and it was like our mini honeymoon, and it was horrible. Like I just wanted to work the whole time.
I bet your phone was going off. I bet you had a. I bet she was smacking you over the head, saying, "Turn it off, Kyle. Put it on the table, Kyle. Throw it under the pillow,
Yeah,
Kyle. Just leave it alone, Kyle. It's a
yeah,
honeymoon for crying out loud."
yeah. I think that's why I get sick pretty often too, is because I barely sleep. And she keeps telling me. She tells me like at least once a week. She's like, just put your phone in a different room, or she says she'll hide it somewhere. And so, but I just constantly think about it. It's definitely an issue. Like I need to get it checked or something. But it is
There's
what it
there's
is.
no fix for it, man. It's the mentality that comes with being the showrunner. That's who you
Yeah.
are. It's it's
I
it's
try
it's
to explain that to her. It's just like how I'm wired, and it's like, and I've heard of stories of like so many other entrepreneurs and stuff that are like the exact same way. So I like every time I hear someone say that, I like show her. I'm like, hey, he's like this too. not just me.
That's just how it works. You're go, go, go. And I can't wait. I'm about to get into that phase in my school over here too. So I'm excited. I'm excited to start pounding the rock like that too, man. I'm excited. So good things coming for your project, and we've got a lot of cool projects coming up, and I think we might even be able to do a project together soon, but I'm not gonna break that just yet. I think we can continue to have lunch and talk that up and see if we can figure that out. But
Yeah, I'm down for your birthday. Let's do something. We could do something this weekend.
yeah,
I don't want. I don't want. I don't want to like impede on something if you have family or whatever. We can do
no,
something else
no.
too.
This is
Something.
family was last week. My mom made a red velvet cake while I was visiting them for Thanksgiving, and this is a big one for me. I turned 50 on Thursday, so
Wow.
this is like, yeah, this is going to be an all
Damn,
out.
dude, you're like halfway there.
I, I know, right? That's for me. That's what I say. It's like halftime, bro. I mean, like 50. Honestly, everything that I have done in my life, and I know you're younger than me, but I know you feel this way because we've talked about it. Everything that you've done, all the good stuff, all the bad stuff, all the awesome highs and the mistakes and the bad days, they all lead towards, like, it's like they funnel to this inflection point in your life. And when you start really starting to get your juice and that project really starts to explode like it's doing for you with Nobility and me and my projects right now, everything that's happened, it's like it all funnels down into this one, like, point where it just hits. And people ask me all the time, they're like, I tell them I'm 50 and they're like, there's no way, you're like 35. I'm like, I mean, I juice like I'm 35. Like I wake up every day with vigor, just ready to rock and roll. I don't feel like 50 is even I don't feel old. You know what I mean?
I was
I'm
about
re-
to say I wouldn't have guessed you were 50. If you said you were turning 40, I would have believed you. Like you have the energy of like a 35-year-old. You probably have more energy than I do.
well, that's just because you're not feeling well. You probably run circles around me on a good day. So
I don't know about that.
yeah.
But yeah, let's do something this weekend for your birthday. That'd be awesome.
I'm down. Let's do it. If anybody's in Tampa and you want to come out, we'll probably throw something together for Saturday night. That's the plan right now. So Peyton goes to her mom around 3 o'clock on Saturday. So anytime after that, I'll be free, and we'll figure something out. Even if it's just watching, maybe. You know what? The sports book just opened up at the Hard Rock Casino. We could go down there and
Saw
watch.
that. I was just there.
We could
I was
watch
just
all
there.
the
Yeah.
championship games, and we could throw some ducats around and play a little.
I'm down. I'm down for that. I think they're getting live roulette and craps too.
Ah, yeah. See, I can see you put
Yeah,
all your nobility on black. No, no, don't do that. Don't do that. If they had purple, you'd bet it all on purple, wouldn't you?
Yeah, they got green. Real
Look at
green.
he put up the meme blowing on the dice. I've got the dice right here. All right. Well, man, I really, really, really appreciate you guys being here and being a part of this. And obviously, we've opened it up for the community, and excited to see some new faces on the show. Thanks, everybody, for being here in the audience. And thank you, Kyle, for being a good friend and coming on the show, supporting Tango Crypto. We're a Nobility community just off to the side a little bit, but we love Nobility, and we've been around for this whole time for that. I really appreciate you coming on the show. I love you, man. I appreciate you. I'm excited for all the success that's coming your way, and happy to piggyback it, as a holder and as a community leader who has a lot of holders in our community as well. We're all excited for Nobility and where it's going for all of us as a group. So thanks for being here. I appreciate it, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on. It's always awesome to talk to you, and great to talk to some of these other people in the audience as well.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm always good to have everybody around, and just excited to be here. Thank you for that. And I appreciate all you guys that have showed up to support. We do this show every Tuesday night in our subscription section of Tango Crypto, which is tier 2. Not a lot of people have been in there recently, but I did see somebody comment earlier. They didn't know we were still over here doing this, but I've actually done this show every Tuesday for the last few years, with just a few exceptions for sickness and maybe a couple of days that I was unavailable, but pretty much week in, week out, we do this show, 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's for our subscription group, but we also do it as part of the free every once in a while because we want to share with the public. And this video for this show will actually come out on YouTube in just a little while. So for those of you that were here live, thank you for being here. For those that are watching the recording, appreciate you guys. And Kyle, my guy, I'll see you Saturday, if not before. And thanks for being on the show tonight, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good, man. I'll see you this weekend.
All right. Sounds good. You guys have a great week. We'll see you next week on Tango Tuesday. From Tampa down here in Florida, this is Dave, Tango Delta 6, and I'm out. Bye.
Bucks, baby. Go Bucks.
Let's go.